Before we get started, please subscribe to my channel below and click on the alert notification symbol. That way you'll be notified every time we publish a new video. Hi, Ronan here again with 7 questions in what I hope is just going to be 7 minutes. So let's dive straight in. Tracy says, Ronan, I'm reading your July issue on bargain mansions in Europe. Can these be converted into hotels or Airbnb, or do they have to be leased long term? Tracy, absolutely. You can take these properties and you can rent them as Airbnbs, short term, and you can also, in many cases, subject to some local regulations, divide them into guest houses and rent the rooms individually. So, absolutely, yes, these fabulous old homes can be converted to Airbnbs and you can make money from them. Lex says, I'm interested in investing in Europe, probably Portugal, using a family trust rather than my own name. Have you any experience or feedback on this? Lex, every real estate I've bought has always been in my own name. I don't have personal experience buying through family trusts, but, and of course you should consult an expert on this, but if your Europe vacation home or second home is going to stay within the family, if you plan not to sell it for the foreseeable future, it's a great idea to own via a family trust. So what you need to be very mindful of, from a rules and regulations perspective, is that there can be local laws that can be material to how you structure it, as well as the laws and the structure of the jurisdiction where the trust is. So great idea in theory if you plan not to sell the property, but of course consult advisors, but great idea. Bruce says, I'm looking for a part-time retirement house. I've been in Ireland many times and loved every trip. My preference is a place in Dublin or with good access to public transportation. A small house in a small town could also work well. Any recommendations? Bruce, first of all, Dublin is a really, really expensive real estate market. It's also a very busy international city. If you like Dublin and if you're looking for Europe real estate bargains, my recommendation would be to look to the North Midlands and Northwest of Ireland. There you can find incredible values, incredibly low real estate, and you can still be within an hour and a half by train or bus from central Dublin. So you can be really, really accessible to that vibrancy of Dublin, but live in small town Ireland and buy real estate for a song. Aaron asks, my wife and I are thinking about a property in Italy. Are there firms that specialize in helping American citizens do this? Should we hire a lawyer to represent us in the search and transaction? Should we hire a US lawyer? What are the key hurdles to buying a property in Italy? So first of all, Aaron, my recommendation is start with the property. Yes, there are firms who specialize in helping Americans, but I would start by finding the property, and then you build that team around you, the team that you'll need to close on the transaction and to do any renovations, if renovations are required. So, again, Idealista, it's a great app. It's got almost all the listings in Italy, Spain, and Portugal. I'd find the property and then see what your requirements are in terms of renovation and legals. Probably the biggest hurdle for Italy will be, first of all, just dealing with more bureaucracy than you're probably used to, but that just means a bit of patience. And then secondly, if there are renovations, these can be challenging in more remote parts of Italy. I don't see a need for a U.S. attorney. I'd only consider maybe consulting with your U.S. attorney at the latter stages when you're looking at things like the place this property has in in your will and structures like that. But find the property, ascertain your needs in terms of renovation and legal expertise, and then find these contacts. Find these contacts locally. Italy is very, very much a local market, so that's why it's important to start with the area you're focused on and the property. Okay, Craig says, I'm based in the UK and interested in purchasing a property in France that I can drive to. I noticed that while you have plenty of information on Portugal, Spain, and Italy, France doesn't come up that often. I was wondering if there's something about the French market that makes it less appealing to you, and if there are other factors at play. First of all, he's hitting on this big trend that's happening, right across the world, and France is a big beneficiary of this, or parts of France, and that's the drivability. So in this new world that we're in, people are anxious about getting on planes, but they still want to travel and they still want to have a country house. So being able to drive from the UK or from Paris makes French country properties much more appealing. So in short, our primary beat here is real estate for investment. How we can make money from real estate. I've found some investment opportunities for profit in Montpellier and in the Languedoc area, or the area that was formerly called the Languedoc. Other than that, I don't see France as a great place to make money from real estate. And not a great place to make money, not a great place for capital appreciation, not a great place for strong rental income, but for a second home destination, it is one of the best places on earth. Your pounds or your euros or your dollars stretch so far in rural France now. It's incredible. So a great place to buy a really good value for money second home. Not a great place if you're looking for capital appreciation or rental income. Stephen asked what bolt hole opportunities are available in Portugal. So Stephen, as you've been reading, I've been highlighting places where we can buy just incredibly inexpensive homes of character, like the France example and the Italy that I've been talking about. In northern Portugal, you can buy country farmhouses from as little as $30,000 to $70,000. So there are opportunities. You'll find in Portugal these homes have less character than they do, say, in France or Italy. They're less historic, they're less charming, but they can be equally good value. And again, the cost of living in Portugal, in rural Portugal, is like one of the lowest on earth. So you've extremely low real estate prices and extremely low cost of living. Okay, and finally, Tucker asks, what impact do you think the recent changes in the Golden Passport rules for foreign real estate investors will have on coastal properties in Portugal? And I think maybe Tucker is asking about before the crisis, the Portuguese government planned on rowing back some of the places and some of the areas where people could avail of or could use real estate to get the Golden Passport. And post-COVID, those changes have been rolled back. So basically, it's businesses as usual for that. And I think the Portugal's Golden Visa was hugely appealing for people from China, people from Brazil. It gave them the opportunity to come and live and work and do business in Europe, to have a base where their family could stay. And that trend is just going to accelerate. Europe's economy could be extremely weak, but Europe will grow in appeal as a place for wealthy families, wealthy people from China, from Brazil, from all these places where they're looking for security, they're looking for good education infrastructure, they're looking for clean air. So that will continue to drive these high net worth individuals to Europe. And we're going to see more and more of these programs being, aggressively marketed. Greece are going to start remarketing their program, which is extremely attractive. It's only a €250,000 investment in real estate. And what's really attractive about the Greek one is that you get to bring parents of both spouses and kids. So 3 whole generations can come, and that's hugely appealing. So that's it. 7 questions, and I hope not much more than 7 minutes.